Now, today's video, I'm going to be talking about RJ Hampton and LaMelo Ball. So you guys, I want to bring out this video and just talk about RJ just because we all know the NBA draft is right around the corner, and it seems like RJ is projected as a late first round pick, while LaMelo on the other side is projected as a top 3 pick. And we all know both these guys went overseas at the same time last year. Before I start this video, make sure you guys go follow me on Instagram at _theonlywallace, and also go subscribe to my second channel called TK Wallace Vlogs. Make sure you guys go copy your merch as well. Now let's get to the video. So first, let's talk about what's currently going on with RJ Hampton. So not too long ago, he met with the Boston Celtics, who have the 14th, 26th, and 30th pick in the 2020 NBA draft. And they also have a little interest in him, so the Celtics might be the possible destination for RJ Hampton on draft day. Also, the Brooklyn Nets, they had the 19th pick. They had interest in RJ Hampton, and the OKC Thunder as well. They had the 25th pick. They're looking for another guard to pair up with Shai Alexander-Gilchrist. So RJ Hampton, he has 3 different NBA teams that's really have their eyes on him in the late first round. So the whole point of me bringing this video is that what happened to RJ Hampton? Because if you guys do not know, last year when he was entering overseas playing with the New Zealand Breakers, while LaMelo was going overseas at the same time playing with the Ill Robert Hawks, they both was projected to be a top 5 pick. Now, as you can see, LaMelo, he is still projected to be a top 3, while RJ Hampton just went down tremendously. So the question is, what happened? Now let's rewind back to last year when they both was playing overseas. So if you guys do not know, RJ Hampton, throughout his entire season playing overseas, he played a total of 18 games, and he also left early due to a hip injury. He missed 4 to 6 weeks, then he decided to just leave the entire NBL. So he left his season early. He was only averaging 8 points per game, 2 assists, 4 rebounds, shooting 40 field goal percentage, and shooting 29% from the 3-point line. And his team also, they finished with a 15-13 record. So his team wasn't that bad at all. But like I said, he did leave early, and it kind of did mess him up because he could have improved his stats a little bit more. But I guess he already felt like he just needed to leave and just get prepared for the 2020 NBA draft, which made some sense because the whole point of him even going overseas was for him to just get some numbers on his resume, get that check, then go straight to the NBA. So here's the thing, you guys. We all know RJ was a top prospect in his class before he went overseas. He said that if he didn't go overseas, he would have committed to Kansas. So this is the thing, you guys. Now, when RJ went overseas, he actually had a head start over a lot of people, including LaMelo. The only thing I would say about LaMelo is that everybody knew about LaMelo. He always had his name hyped up on social media. So, of course, LaMelo, he always had the hype. But besides LaMelo, everybody else that's in the draft right now, RJ really did have a head start because once he went overseas, a lot of NBA scouts was looking at him. And on top of that, during his preseason, he played against the Memphis Grizzlies and the OKC Thunder. So he already played against NBA teams, like actual real NBA games against these 2 NBA teams. So NBA scouts was already looking at RJ, and RJ was just already ahead of everybody. So back on October the 8th, 2019, when they played against the Memphis Grizzlies, they lost. The score was 94-108. And RJ, he played 20 minutes. He only scored 2 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, and he shot 1 for 8 field goal percentage and 0 for 1 3-point percentage. And he also was just really chucking up some shots during that game. Like, I remember covering that game, and I was just so disappointed because I was just like, RJ, like, bro, you're just throwing up some shots and stuff. You guys should go check out my previous video when I was just talking about RJ Hampton struggling overseas. That was literally like my first video I made on him once he went overseas. So fast forward 2 days later, on October the 10th, they played against the OKC Thunder. The head coach gave RJ Hampton 30 minutes that game, and RJ only scored 8 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. He shot 2 for 11 field goal percentage and 0 for 1 from the 3-point line. Now here's the thing, even though he was struggling, these were his first games, and he was already playing against actual NBA teams. So it kind of was looking good for him because he was already contributing on the next level, you know, just coming straight out of high school. So it was kind of looking good for him because he was the youngest player on the court, of course, and on top of that, everybody knew that he took the big leap to go overseas to play with the New Zealand Breakers instead of taking the NCAA route. So a lot of NBA scouts, they really was entertained about RJ Hampton, and they wanted to see what he was going to do. Like, a lot of people wanted to see him develop throughout his season playing overseas. But they was wishy-washy with him because they like, okay, you supposed to be a top 5 pick. You're already projected to be a top 5 pick, but you only scored 2 points your first game against an NBA team. Then the next game you score 8 points, and look at your field goal percentage. You know what I mean? So NBA scouts, they was already wishy-washy. Now let's fast forward to once they went overseas. So once RJ and LaMelo went overseas, of course everything was all hyped up. That's why the NBL, all the reporters down there, they was interviewing RJ and LaMelo because both of these guys were projected to be the top 5 pick. So I want you guys to hear me out. Now honestly, in my opinion, the reason why I feel like RJ Hampton draft stock went down tremendously is because the minutes he was playing. Now, he was only averaging 20 minutes per game, and he averaged 8 points, like I said, right? Now, when you look at LaMelo's stats, LaMelo was averaging 31 minutes per game, and that's why he was scoring 17 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, shooting 38 field goal percentage, and 25% from the three-point line. And LaMelo actually had other games when he was playing 40 minutes. So LaMelo had all the playing time in the world to do the best he could. RJ Hampton, on the other side, he actually was playing with other guys, and he was kind of limited. I think he only started like 12 games out of 18 games, and he only had like a handful of games when he only played 36 minutes. But here's the thing, when RJ played 36 minutes, he was averaging 15 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, and shooting 43 field goal percentage. So just imagine if that was his total stats, 15 points, right? If RJ total stats was 15 points instead of 8 points, he for sure would be a lottery pick. But when you look at his stats when he was only averaging 20 minutes per game, that is not a lottery pick stats at all. So of course his draft stock went down. And I know if he would have went to Kansas or something, bro, RJ Hampton would have been averaging like probably 20 a game, bro. Because if he was averaging 15 points playing 30 minutes overseas, like, come on now, if he was in college, bro, he would have been going crazy. So I just know his minutes was a big factor on his draft stock going down because he really cannot show exactly who he is on the court as in how LaMelo was doing it. LaMelo had all the time in the world. He was only sitting out like about 5 minutes per game. Like LaMelo, he was doing his thing because the head coach, they was messing with him. The whole team, they let LaMelo take over and just do what he had to do. RJ Hampton on the other side, he didn't have that opportunity. He had to play under this organization and he had to know his role, and it kind of did mess him up because he couldn't shine how he was supposed to. Everybody wanted RJ Hampton to shine how LaMelo shined overseas, but the team RJ was playing for didn't really let him shine how he was supposed to, and I guess that's why he decided to just leave early and just focus on getting ready for the 2020 NBA draft. But at the same time, I'm not sitting here and just saying, oh, that's the whole reason on why his draft stock went down. Of course, there's other reasons, but I'm just saying, I really feel like if he had the opportunity to play as much minutes LaMelo did every single game, RJ for sure would have been a lottery pick. But his stats went down and it's just not looking good at his resume at all. Like, it's just not looking good for him at all with his stats being like that and him already being projected to be a top 5 pick. You know what I mean? So it was looking like a little disappointment for him. So that's why, once he decided to just leave overseas, he knew he had to focus on just getting better, such as working on his 3-point percentage. That's why he's been working out with Mike Miller. Mike Miller has been helping him fix his shot and just stay more consistent. And RJ really has just been doing his thing. So now he's on the path where he's trying to prove himself, where before he already had high expectations. And that's honestly was the downfall for him going overseas, because he had high expectations. Everybody, including NBA scouts, wanted him to ball out how LaMelo did. Well, they wanted him to play similar to how LaMelo was playing, as in the stats wise. But as you can see, there's a major difference. And that's why RJ is not even in talks. Well, he's not even in the same talks as LaMelo no more, how it used to be. So yeah, you guys, that's my opinion on how and why RJ Hampton fell so far from LaMelo Ball. Is because he wasn't consistent, and on top of that, his minutes. His minutes wasn't consistent and he wasn't consistent. So it was just too much going on. But for LaMelo, he was actually staying consistent with his game. Even though his team was losing a lot, LaMelo was still making sure he was looking good. But, that's just my opinion, you guys. But I want you guys to leave your comments and opinions on how y'all feel about this. And also, what team would y'all like to see draft RJ Hampton? I thank you guys for watching. Please make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you press the notification button. And also, cop your merch. We out.